Have you ever thought about this one? That a tip for you right now could be a tip a day actually helps you stay younger. I mean, is that is that a new one for you? Well, it was interesting because I am an avid fan of like reading and new books and thinking about all these things and how to increase mental toughness, not just physical, exercise. It's the Innercise, the exercise. It's this concept of, you're not just internal versus external. You're both, right? You need both. You need that outside physical type of working out, but then you also need to be thinking about the internal working out. And so I started to think about the idea around looking younger and how on the outside, if you're doing everything that you can to look younger, what are you doing on the inside? Now, okay, think about this. If you're feeding yourself healthy foods, you're drinking lots of water, you're getting your sleep, you're doing all these great things, but what else can you possibly be doing, which is thinking about your neurons, right? Because as you continue to age and get older, the neurons in your head are slowly leaving you, like they're slowly like going away. And so how can you make those last longer and allow for longevity in your brain? And as I've described before, we have all of these things on automation. And so if everything's on automation, how do you keep your brain interested? Because everything's on automation. And think about what we're all, encouraged to do, which is, work and then retire. Well, actually, that's probably the worst thing you can do because then your brain literally like just says good night, night night, and then that's it. So what I want you to think about is this concept of not just external, how you can keep yourself young, but internal. And the number one way you can do that is this concept of change, of learning something, of, I love what we do at the ReLaunch company is that we give you a tip a day to start thinking about something that you may not have thought about before. And so that's the first way that you can keep yourself young on the inside, because we all know what happens on the inside shows up on the outside. And so think about that. Where are you getting some quick little things that you can think about? These tips of the day, a tip a day. I love that. So right here, you're doing it. So kudos to you. Number two is challenge the change. Challenge yourself to change. And what can you be doing? Can you be creating a different morning routine? Can you be thinking about, a new way of learning something? Maybe, you've been putting off, like I know there's, Duolingo and there's all these different ways to learn a language, or there's new ways to keep your brain going. Maybe it's meditation and you want to do like a meditation app. Maybe like Headspace, you could do even quick ones. But what are you doing to just keep the changes going inside your head? Keeping the things that are triggering to create these new automation processes, but you got to be doing it daily. And then what about this one? Sharing what you're learning. Because then not only are you repeating what you've heard, but you're then putting it into practice because you're explaining it to someone, which means that you're going through it again in your head to really understand it. And by sharing it, then you could say, and here's how I'm trying it in my own life, in my own world, in my own existence. So pretty cool. So what I want you to be thinking about as you go on the rest of the day is, one, where are you getting that tip a day? Two, how are you challenging yourself for change? And three, are you sharing something with others that you're learning daily? All right, give it a try and definitely come back over to the Relaunch Effect in Facebook and share. Share something, share a tip for all of us that you know that's been working for you, that maybe somebody else will be like, oh my God, that's a really brilliant tip. All right, so definitely let us know how this goes.